Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the roller coaster story of Tana Mongeau, a YouTuber who's built an empire out of chaos, controversy, and reinvention. From the explosive end of her hit podcast cancelled to the haunting shadow of the infamous Tanacon, Tana is once again at the center of drama that refuses to die. While she's trying to rebrand into a safe era, old ghosts are resurfacing, with Michael Weiss, the man behind Tanacon, speaking out after years in hiding. So has Tana truly moved forward, or is her past determined to follow her forever? Tana Mongeau has always been the internet's wild card, messy, unpredictable, and unapologetically chaotic. But recently, fans noticed a shift. She's been calling this phase of her career her brand safe era, meaning she's actively trying to distance herself from the controversies that once defined her. The Tana of 2018 thrived on wild scandals and constant drama. The Tana of 2025. She wants sponsorships, collaborations, and mainstream credibility. This shift was most visible with her collaboration with Tarte Cosmetics, a partnership that launched not only online but also in Ulta stores nationwide. For a creator like Tana, who's often been deemed too controversial for major brands, this collab was a milestone. But behind the scenes, her career wasn't without turbulence. The podcast cancelled, which she co-hosted with Brooke Schofield, was reaching its end. And with that ending came both relief and fear. Cancelled wasn't just a podcast, it became part of Tana's identity. She and Brooke built a community of listeners who tuned in for unfiltered stories, messy confessions, and behind-the-scenes drama of influencer life.
We're trauma bonded for life, her and I. You know what I mean? And we've already started to get to kind of be friends and be normal and just feel better and
not have to do the podcast.
Yeah, she's moving near me and I'm happy about it. If you told us that we would feel this way, I think neither of us would have believed you, you know?
Yeah.
The two co-hosts described themselves as trauma bonded, having gone through so much together that they couldn't help but be inseparable. When news broke that the podcast was ending, fans were shocked. But according to Tana, the decision wasn't a tragedy, it was necessary for their...
I am the type of person that when things are coming to an end, I still have that little girl in me who is scared to go back to the way that life once was. I've always said my biggest drive of my biggest motivation is fear. You know what I mean? And I think with canceled ending, even though obviously Brooke and I are so happy and excited for the future, and that's a huge thing, I think that having this thing that theoretically was comfortable and was a huge source of income and was just, you know what I mean? Walking away from that, does incite a level of fear. You feel you're jumping into the ocean and you have to swim. And so Tarte was perfect for me. It was this perfect almost not distraction, but thing to make me. And I noticed that I build my whole schedule up so insane and fill it up so insane to not be to distract myself from.
It became a crutch. Ending it meant she and Brooke could finally just be friends, without the pressure of turning every interaction into content. Still, for Tana, the end of Cancelled wasn't just emotional, it was terrifying. The podcast was a steady stream of income, a comfortable space where she had control of the narrative. Walking away felt like jumping into the ocean without knowing how to swim. She confessed to spiraling, filling her schedule with distractions to avoid facing the fear of what came next. In conversations with Trisha Paytas, Tana admitted something vulnerable.
It feels really good. It feels weird. I don't think I've ever left anything on a high note in my life, and it's felt really weird. I'm not gonna lie. It's against who I am internally, but
Yeah.
I'm very happy, and we have to remember the reasons why we want to move forward. And I saw this TikTok last night that was just me going straight into it. Let me just shut up. But just talking about how you're supposed to feel uncomfortable in periods of your life when big changes are happening, and you know what I mean? That's how you change, and that's how you grow, is you feel uncomfortable, and that's what I'm trying to do. You know what I mean? And just, I don't know.
Her biggest motivator in life has always been fear. Fear of going broke. Fear of being forgotten. Fear of returning to the chaos of her early YouTube days without a stable platform. The Tarte collab helped distract her, but once it was over, reality hit again. Yet, she also acknowledged that discomfort is necessary for growth. For the first time, she was leaving something at a high point instead of letting it implode. It was scary, but also empowering. Tana was embracing the idea that true transformation happens in uncomfortable moments. But just as she tried to look forward, the past wasn't ready to let her go. If you've been online since 2018, you probably remember Tanacon. If not, here's the recap. At just 19, Tana attempted to take on VidCon, the massive YouTube convention, after feeling disrespected for not being given a featured creator badge. Her solution? Create her own convention, one for the fans, by the fans. Promises of free or cheap tickets, guaranteed creator interactions, and $1,000 gift bags made Tanacon sound like a dream event, but reality was a nightmare. The Anaheim venue couldn't safely hold the thousands of people who showed up. Fans were left standing for hours in the blazing sun, suffering sunburns and even fainting. Those who made it inside found little programming and disappointing goodie bags filled with stickers and condoms. The event collapsed on its first. Behind it all was Tana and Michael Weiss, the 21-year-old event organizer she partnered with. When things went south, both pointed fingers. Tana claimed Michael's company botched logistics. Michael insisted Tana's team oversold tickets and underestimated demand. The fallout was brutal. The chaos caught the attention of Shane Dawson, who produced a multi-part docuseries that became essential internet viewing. The series painted Tana as young, overwhelmed, and manipulated by Michael Weiss, who came off defensive and unwilling to accept responsibility. For Tana, the series was a lifeline. Fans felt sympathy, believing she was wronged by an inexperienced event planner. For Michael, it was the beginning of a long exile from the influencer world. His reputation as a manager and event producer was destroyed. While Tana's career eventually recovered, Michael never escaped the shadow of Tanacon. Even attempts at a Tanacon 2 fell flat, and he became permanently branded as the Tanacon guy. Years later, just as Tana is working on her safe era, Michael Weiss has resurfaced. Posting on TikTok, he began opening up about how Tanacon ruined his life.
Oh my God, I'm gonna lose everything. This is craziness. I was really just trying my best, right? To like help Tana and to help all of our dreams come true. And the creators were having a great time, really. Everyone was having a fantastic experience at the event. On the back end, on the front end, chaos, right? But all the creators were like, this is the best thing ever. We ended up having a creator party still. At that point, I had like already canceled the event and I was like, yeah, I've lost everything. As soon as the event was over, I fly immediately because I've already realized that like I have to refund $750,000 of ticket sales and sponsorships, everything else. And I realized that I need to fly home and start putting things in order because I'm like losing everything. So I fly home and everyone's calling me, credit card companies are calling me, you need to make payments, you need to make payments. I have literally leveraged every ounce of cash and credit I had on that event, thinking that it's gonna go great, it's gonna be a massive success, Tana's gonna love me, everyone's gonna see how great of a job I did, everyone's gonna think I'm amazing and they're gonna love me for my performance and how great I am at this and blah, blah, blah. Everyone's just riding my coattails and letting me take all the risk and letting me lead because if I took the failure, it was easier than them, right? Which Tana eventually just threw me under the bus for the same reason. It was easier to throw me under the bus than address her own accountability that like this was her event, I was doing this for her, etc. And she's monetized off of it immensely. Anyways, I start calling, I guess, around Nashville and my hometown, and I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck to do. Credit card companies are calling me, I can't make payments. I've spent all the money on this event, and I went all in on Tana's dream and my dream. And
he framed posting about Tanacon as a way of releasing trauma, saying the internet's hate had nearly driven him to end his life. But they've also watched her survive scandal after scandal. Meanwhile, Michael Weiss is still fighting to be seen as more than the Tanacon guy. His videos show a man desperate for redemption, but the internet isn't quick to forgive, especially when accountability feels incomplete.
You know, every single time that I post about Tanacon, something that was deeply traumatic to me, it is healing. Because I'm releasing a piece of it, right? I'm like showing a piece of my subconscious belief that I'm wrong, that I'm evil. Every time I open social media, I used to be met with, well, still am, lots of hate comments and darkness and evil. And so every time I say something about Tanacon, post it or whatever, I'm literally sharing my trauma, and therefore it's being witnessed, and therefore I can release it. In esoteric teachings, they teach you that your trauma must be witnessed by 5 people before you can release it. Well, social media is way more than 5. And so every single time I post about it, it weighs me down a little bit less. Because why? I get to share my narrative, my story, in my position, and release what I think people are going to think about it, or people are going to, or what I think people are going to think.
Tana and Michael's story isn't just about one failed convention. It's a cautionary tale about influencer culture, accountability, and the internet's long memory. Mistakes made in your late teens and early 20s can follow you for life when played out on a global stage. For Tana, Tanacon is both her biggest failure and, paradoxically, a reason she's still relevant. For Michael, it remains a scar he can't heal. At the end of the day, Tana Mongeau is still standing, bruised by controversy but determined to reinvent herself. Whether her brand-safe era lasts or the chaos returns, only time will tell. Meanwhile, Michael Weiss's reappearance proves that some scandals never truly die. Tanacon may have lasted just a day, but its impact continues years later, shaping both of their lives in different ways. What do you think? Has Tana truly moved on, or will Tanacon always haunt her legacy? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.